What's up guys, welcome back to The Educated Barfly. Today we're gonna be tackling the Noble Margarita. This is a drink that has so many different variations and ways to make it that I figured I would just do a video to show you how to do the classic and then 2 variations so you guys will never be confused about making this fantastic cocktail ever again. Let's get into it. So the first cocktail we're doing today is gonna be just a straight up traditional margarita. First thing we're gonna do is juice some limes with our handy dandy hand juicer. 3/4 of an ounce of lime juice, 3/4 of an ounce of Cointreau, 2 ounces Blanco tequila. Add some ice to our tin. Add our cocktail. All right, and then we're just gonna strain it into our glass. And just give it a nice lime wheel. Let's give it the old tasty. That is just fresh lime, and you get your tequila. Obviously, you get that nice kind of agave flavor, and then you get that little bit of sweetness on the end, but it's really, really tart, almost unbalanced in its tartness. The classic margarita is based on a drink called the Daisy. It's actually in the same family, and that was one of the very first drinks to use a liqueur for its sugar content. And so what you get is kind of a very boozy and bright and kind of tart cocktail with just a little hint of sugar on the back end. It's very refreshing, very light, and it is a fantastic drink. So there it is, the original margarita. So there's a lot of origin stories behind this drink, but the one that I like to think is the real one is that it was created in 1938 by a bar owner named Carlos Danny Herrera at his bar Rancho de la Gloria, which stood in between Tijuana and Rosarito. And the story basically is that he created it for a Ziegfeld dancer named Marjorie King, who was allergic to a lot of different spirits, but not tequila. So he whipped this one up for her.
Rosarito was my first time in Mexico.
Oh yeah? Oh nice. Hey, what were you doing there?
We drove down and stayed there for a couple of days, yeah.
Sweet. I don't know, I've never been to Mexico, even though I've lived in LA for so long. I've never been to Tijuana or Rosarito, and I couldn't tell you how far apart they are. Like,
I think it was only a couple of hours drive down to Rosarito.
Oh, there you go. But Tijuana's first, though, because Tijuana is like right over the border.
Yeah.
So you hit Tijuana first, right over the border, and then you drive to Rosarito. Cool. I used to have some friends that were bike messengers that would ride their bikes from here to Rosarito. Oh, yeah, it's a long ride, but you know, serious bikers. All right, guys, let's move on to the next one. So the next margarita we're doing is called the Tommy's Margarita, which was created by a barman named Julio Bermejo for Tommy's Mexican restaurant in San Francisco in the early 1990s. And this was the first time that agave nectar was actually used in a margarita. So what Bermejo decided to do was that he was gonna use 100% agave tequila. Then he found this agave nectar in a natural food store, which really wasn't a prevalent ingredient at the time. And he made like an accidental modern classic. All right, so first thing we're gonna do is take our lime and squeeze it. I'm basically squeezing like a whole lime in this thing. So this is my new favorite tool, guys, let me tell you. And not just because it's large format, but it's because of this spout. So we wanna do 1 ounce of lime juice. And then we're just gonna do 1/2 ounce of agave nectar. So a lot of people are going to wanna kind of take the agave nectar and make it into agave syrup by adding water. And if you wanna temper the sweetness, you can absolutely do that. I typically don't do that because it is not as viscous as honey and it mixes into a cocktail very well on its own. It doesn't seize up in the cold the same way that honey does. But just, you know, if you guys wanna do that, you can. And we're gonna add 2 ounces of our Reposado tequila. And it has to be Repo tequila for Tommy's Margarita. Then we're gonna add some ice cubes into our glass and into our tin. Put a nice shake. Strain it into an ice-filled glass. Now, Couple of things that I want to mention here before we taste it. Tommy's margaritas usually have a salt rim, but for me, that's a little bit too much salt. So what I like to do is just take a little pinch of Maldon salt and sprinkle it on the top. You can do that, or you can just add it into the tin when you shake. The salt is going to bring out more flavors. I like to have it sort of on a little time release here, so that's why I do that. All right, let's taste it. So this is gonna be a much more balanced version of the margarita. You have that lime, because we used an ounce of it, so it's that nice bright lime flavor. And also when you're hand juicing your limes, you get a lot of that oil from the skin, so it's just really bright, limey flavor. And then it is tempered and balanced by that nice agave. The agave has a very almost savory sweetness like honey. It is very sweet, but it has sort of a savoriness to it as well. And that kind of plays into it, and then just obviously plays so well into that Reposado tequila. The Reposado tequila is going to be lightly aged, and so you get a little bit of those kind of barrel notes, but you still get that unmistakable agave flavor. There it is, guys, the Tommy's Margarita. So for our last margarita, I wanted to just do my preferred margarita. This is something that doesn't have a lot of history. It's just the margarita that I prefer to make, and if you sit in front of me at a bar, this is the one I'll be making you. So I'm gonna try and squeeze, is it crazy to try and squeeze an entire lime in here?
Let's try it.
I'm gonna try and squeeze an entire lime in here without cutting it.
You gotta pop the skin on it, like, oof.
Whoa! That was awesome.
I think if you make a slit and then you can squeeze the whole thing.
Squeeze the whole thing, yeah. Yeah, good call. I kind of like that it popped that way though, but it kind of made a mess of my glassware. Hold on, let me, gonna have to wipe everything off now. All right, so 1 ounce of lime juice, half an ounce of agave, half an ounce of orange curacao, 2 ounces Blanco tequila. So do you see what's going on here? You know now that my preferred margarita is a combination of a regular margarita and a Tommy's margarita all in one. Add some ice up in here. I like to add a good amount of ice, all right? And then what we're gonna do is give it a nice hard shake. And then you know what I do? Instead of straining, I give it the old shake and dump right in the glass. Just like that. And a little lime wheel. Pinch of salt. Bam. Give it the old tasty poo. So for me, this is the margarita that has it all. You get a little bit of that orange curacao, which I like to use in place of Cointreau. So you get a little bit more depth of flavor. You get that nice kind of agave flavor. You get all of that lime, and then you also get the balance of the agave syrup, which really kind of brings it all home for me. I like to shake and dump it, kind of as like a little bit of an ode to a blended margarita. So you can shake this and you can strain it over nice clean ice if you want, so clean rocks of ice, or even a big rock if you like. I like this one the best. Kind of gives it a little bit of ice chips. It might dilute a little bit faster, but that means that you should just dispatch the cocktail maybe just a little bit faster. So there it is, my preferred margarita. All right, guys, there it is. 3 margaritas for your senoritas. You like what I did there? Hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this channel, please hit like and subscribe. Check us out on Patreon and YouTube memberships. Check out our Teespring store because we've got cool t-shirts there, and I'll see you guys at another time. Are you saying that this is a girly drink? Well, I don't know. Just give it to your senoritas. I don't know. I just wanted to rhyme something with margaritas. And that's all I could come up with. And it's a Spanish word. It all, you know. See? You can give it to your senoritas. Whether your senoritas are your girlfriend, or if it's your girl that is your friend, or if you're just a bunch of girls that makes it for your girlfriend's nights out and stuff, or your girlfriend nights in, or your Zoom girlfriend stuff. Yeah, make it for your senoritas. And maybe your senores too. What about the hombres? Well, hombres doesn't rhyme with margarita. Sorry, hombres. You guys can have it too, I promise. All right, guys, Leandro out.